You want to edit a video, but you're just so overwhelmed in trying to start that video. And this is something that really is solved with batching. All right, what is up guys? My name is Kenneth. Welcome back to my channel, KT Lifestyle. And a lot of you guys liked my last video on the 5 mindset mistakes that beginner video editors make. If you haven't checked it out yet, go ahead and check it out in this video right here. But in this week's video, we're going to be talking about helping people that get overwhelmed. Are you someone that has so much footage in your hard drive or in your computer that you can't even think about sitting down and editing everything? Or are you someone that's trying to find a more efficient way to edit your videos so you could edit them faster? Well, in this video, we are going to be going over how you can batch your video editing process and really talk about how batching your video editing process really saves you a lot of time. And then I'm going to go over different considerations when you go about doing this process for yourself. All right, so I have been posting videos on this channel since August of 2019, and I have been uploading consistent weekly content since then. And how did I do it? You guessed it, batching. All right, so first off, what does batching mean? So from the dictionary definition, we have here a quantity of goods produced at one time. And I know some of you may have heard of batching, that term used when actually making videos, where you kind of sit down, film multiple videos at once, and then that's how you batch videos. But in this video, we are going to go dive into how you batch the actual video editing process. So first off, before we go into that, let's go and look at why batching actually saves you a lot of time. So for one thing, there is the setup that does save a lot of time. So some people, they already have a video editing setup where they kind of edit at one place at all the time. They edit at a computer, at a desktop, and they already have that set up for them. But for a lot of people, they also edit on laptops. And on laptops, you can edit at home, you can edit at school, at a coffee shop, at the library, and all that stuff. So it does take time for you to kind of drive to those different places and set up your laptop. And then once you have your laptop set up, you have to plug in your external hard drive, you have to plug in your mic, and then you kind of have to figure all that out. And adding all that little stuff up definitely does take a lot of time. And then another thing is the mindset. So the mindset, before you're trying to edit, there is a lot of mindset blocks that you have to go through and kind of break through in order to start your edit. So for example, when I'm just starting to edit a video, there's like something pushing me or pulling me or something blocking me that's in my way for me to kind of actually start that edit. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of you guys here that really have the experience and the kind of been in the situation where you want to edit a video, but you're just so overwhelmed in trying to start that video. And this is something that really is solved with batching. The reason this issue is solved with batching is because once you actually start that first video to edit, you have this momentum, you have this energy to kind of just keep pushing through and keep editing until you just finish and you're done. So really being able to batch something and really carrying that momentum and transferring that energy from one video to another is something that you really have to consider when you want to figure out batching. So now we're going to go over how to actually do the batching process. Before everything, we really have to go into diving deep into the basic video editing workflow and really understand that in order for us to split the batch up. So for the basic video editing workflow, it really comes down to, first, all you have to do after you film, right? After you film, you have to import, you have to select your videos, you have to cut, you have to rearrange, you have to add audio, you have to add the sound effects, and then you finalize everything and publish the video. That's a basic video editing workflow, and it's going to be different for everybody. Some people it's going to be less, some people it's going to be more, but this is kind of like a general workflow that we want to work with for this video. And before we dive into kind of like how to batch the video process, for this example, for this video, think about you have 4 videos already filmed. You have the footage for all these 4 videos, and they're all kind of just like in the SD card or in the hard drive that you have. And then going back to each step in the video editing workflow, each one of these steps can be batched. So for example, if you are in the cutting phase, right? When you're doing the cutting phase, you are going to want to cut every single clip for every single video. So for example, once you start cutting, you cut for video 1, you cut everything there and take out all the unnecessary things that you don't need. Once you do that, you cut the clips for video 2, and then you do the same thing, take out the unnecessary clips, go to video 3, and then video 4. The reason you want to do this is because, again, it saves time, and also, if you can see, that it really carries down the momentum from video to video to video, because you are doing the same exact thing and you're getting into the groove and into the flow of cutting or whatever process that you decide to batch. And another benefit of really batching is that it will keep you focused on doing that one single thing and focusing on how to perfect it from one video to another. When you're transitioning from, say, video 2 to video 3, you're really thinking in your head like, this is how I cut video 2. How can I do video 3 and cut the clips as well, but also do it in a more efficient and effective manner? It really helps you amplify the process and speed your learning process in this particular skill. And here are just a few of some of my batching considerations when you are doing your video editing batching. So my first consideration is really understand when to take breaks. So breaks is really crucial, especially when you want to avoid burnout. It's great to batch these videos and do cutting or whichever process back to back to back to back, but if you do that back to back to another process, then it really might like burn you out because you're working on these videos for so long. So really sit down and take a break and really plan your schedule on how you want to split these up. And speaking about scheduling, I know a lot of people here, there are different situations for everybody. Some people are doing video editing or content creation full time, but there's going to be a lot of people that just do it as a hobby, just do it on the side, do it after work. So definitely be mindful of how you schedule things. So someone that's doing it full time might be able to edit all 4 videos in one day, but for most people, you are going to want to be able to schedule it day by day. So like, for example, you could have cutting on Monday and then like adding the audio on Tuesday and then exporting and finalizing everything on Wednesday and stuff like that. So really take into consideration and look into your schedule when you have the time to do this. All right, you also want to remember that each step of the video editing process is going to take a different amount of time. So for example, the cutting process might take just an hour for you to cut all 4 videos, but also realize that sometimes the add-on process might take you a little bit more time, a little bit more than an hour to do, because you have to actually take into account like where you're going to find the add-on clips. You have to download it off YouTube, find it on Google, and then all that stuff, and then that might take you a lot more time than like simply cutting the clips. So this is really crucial, especially when you're trying to schedule out when you're going to do your batching process and which kind of like step is going to go to which day. So you really have to take into consideration if you have enough time in the day for your own schedule to really implement these steps in your calendar. And just a quick note, this is not a step-in-stone process. The workflow that I shared with you is not something that you have to go and follow step by step, because everybody has different content, everybody has different types of videos they want to make. Some people want to make in real life videos, some people want to make vlogs, some people want to make gaming content. So this kind of like take this kind of batching process and really take it in and kind of like figure out if it works with your situation. If it does, great. If it doesn't, then take out the things that you don't need and add things that you do need to it. This is kind of just like a really rough outline for you to use when you are going to batch your videos. All right, one thing that I really want you to take away from this video is that I want you to really understand the video editing workflow, even just understanding the basics of it, and then understanding like which ones are necessary to be batched. Some of them for you might not need to be batched, but really understanding the breakdown of the video editing workflow so you can use kind of like this model to make you as a content creator be able to edit your videos more effectively and more efficient, so you can make consistent videos, whether it's going to be on a daily basis or a weekly basis or a monthly basis. It's all up to you. All right, so in this video we learned the importance of batching your video editing process, but go ahead and click the notification bell down below, because in next week's video I'm going to be talking about why you should not do daily uploads on YouTube. And if you're interested in that, and if you are interested in more video editing content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because I have a lot more stuff to offer in this channel. And all right, so that's all I have for you this week. And as always, I hope you learned something from this video. If you did, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below, and I will see you all next Monday.